Hey, there I am. All right, what's up, everyone? All of the nobody that's watching. Working on the Micron again today. Hopefully today we're going to get some Z drives built. Just going to continue on with the book. Like I said, I'm doing this in a little bit smaller bites than I typically would. So we're just going to get into it and build. Go over to the bench top. So yesterday we made it to this point where we have a frame with our nuts loaded into it in the correct orientations, hopefully. For the manual here, we got these stringers in, and now we are installing the deck panel. I'm gonna flip this over. So this is the front. This is the front. We need to do something like this, I believe. Is that what the picture shows? Got the hole in the back. And this looks like it's offset towards the center. Is that right? Yeah. So I think it goes like that. Let's see what kind of peel we can get here. Pretty nice. We decided it went this way. Need some M3x8. Like 4 of them. 2, 3, 4. I got this neat little desk organizer I printed out yesterday. Changed it up from my couple of drivers. I don't know if anybody saw this previously. This was what I used to use. This is just a little 3D printed piece that I made to hold my drivers. And this is a accumulator cup out of a DSG transmission. Maintains fluid pressure. Alright, so I got some bolts there. Got a driver for said hardware. And we just have to get some fasteners in the correct orientation. That one's good. Where's the other one? A little bit this way. A little bit more. There we go. So those two are good. Now we'll get the other two lined up with those two. Like that, maybe. There we go. Probably need to remove the other peel as well. go. Oh, looks like we missed that one. There we go. Two. Three. Now yesterday I didn't really want to install this panel, but if we're doing Z drives, there's going to be stuff going down that'll be in the way of it, so. So in it goes. Now we need DIN rails, and we need some printed parts. Hopefully by the time Drew's watching this, printed parts will have arrived. This won't be a surprise any longer. But I get to show off the printed parts. So this is the color, the main color. This is E3D carbon fiber gray ASA. Like these slide onto the DIN rails. Yep, something like that. Why do I not have nuts for any of these? Did I make a mistake? Oh no! Why do I not have nuts? There should be nuts in there. Oh man. I thought for sure I had all my nuts installed. How come nobody told me? All right, let's go back in here. Oh, I know why. Because I was using the wrong instructions. I bet you these instructions tell me to load nuts for those DIN rails. Alright, well, looks like I gotta do a little bit of disassembly. Well, that's a bummer. See if I can do this without mucking too much up. What size are you? 2.0. 2.5 isn't gonna work. I think I can just slide that out far enough to get my nuts in. I need 4 on this inside here. Let me shoot my brother a message real quick. All right, I got my nuts in place. I'm not going to fully tighten these down yet because I gotta take this other side apart. We'll just snug them, flip it, load my other nuts, and then we'll re-square. One. Three. And 4. Slide this back in place. Then we will loosen again and tighten them, making sure everything's lined up. There we go. Just gonna give these guys just a little bit more. They're actually pretty good. I don't think you need to give them any more. They all got a little bit of Loctite, so they should stay exactly where we torqued them. Let's see what Drew said. This is the back. I already did the front. Got a printer going right next to me, so sorry if the mic's picking that up. All right, there we go. Now we should be able to install these DIN rails. There's my hardware. One. And two. And then we got to grab 3 and 4. Looks like we missed there. Didn't miss that time. 4. And I'm not tightening these down so we can adjust the location as we go. I don't think we're going to be mounting anything to these just yet, but... Yep, there we go. And we can move them around. And I'll grab the other one. I think these are going to go somewhat centered over the hardware for the plate here. So we'll just get them kind of close. I believe these were, yeah. Making sure I had the right hardware. All right, got that one. That one. Looks like I missed that one. Didn't miss it that time. I got one left. Did I get it? Can't really tell. Yep. All right. I'm just going to slide these roughly into position. Snug them up a little bit. Like I said, we can adjust them later if we need to. Get them roughly where they should be. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it shows it there right in the book. These slots centered over the bolts that hold the plate down. All right. All the DIN rails. All right, now we're moving on to printed parts. Looks like we're going to be using these guys. Ooh. I got 4 of them. And we need the bearings for those, little spherical bearings. Going to be these guys. each of these gets one. This is going to let the bed float around a little bit in these Z-mounts. There's a little hole in there. That'll slide right in. And if you look, these should pivot around. And then we need M2 by 6s. Smaller driver here. And these are going to screw right to the bearing blocks on the linear rails. With the bearing towards the top of the printer. So our flying gantry is going to attach to these, and those little bearing pivots are going to be what lets the gantry square to the bed. It's going to have an automatic routine to do that with. Just like working on anything else, you want to just get your fasteners started until they're all started, and then you can bring them all to final torque at the same time. It'll help align all your components and make sure that there's no crazy stresses involved. You can get some binding or some warpage as parts come together if you run your fasteners all the way in all at the same time. Get all these loaded at once and just set the whole thing up. I don't know if that's going to work, but we'll give that a shot. Building one of these is doing the same thing over and over and over, so. That worked out pretty well. Like I said, no Loctite here because we're dealing with printed parts. Loctite would negatively affect the ABS that we're dealing with. Only time you want to use Loctite is metal to metal. Frame joints, rub screws. things like that. There we go. Starting to look like something. Don't know what, but something. You have been framed. At this point, your frame should begin to assemble the picture here. And it does. Ooh, now we're starting with Z drives. I'm gonna have to get my heat inset press out. We're gonna be doing that, so might as well get this thing warmed up. All right, we have a bag of pulleys here, pulleys and grub screws. It says before you start the shaft assembly, make sure you measure the length of your GT2 16T pulley. There are two different lengths. The length will determine how you assemble the shaft assembly and which printed spacers to use. So I believe these are all going to be the same. Just pulling them out to make sure. Do all appear to be the same. We're going to need, I believe, 8 of them in total. 4 for the Z drives and 4 for the motors. So I'm going to leave. Actually going to get the grub screws out as well. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So there's 2 grub screws in each pulley. And then we have to measure these. So it looks like there's a 15.5 overall and a 14 overall. And these appear to be the 15.5 variety. Oh, it's backwards. We have the 15.5 variety. To start assembly of the belted Z drives, you will start by removing the top flange from 4 of these pulleys. Use a pair of pliers and pull it off. Grab a pair of pliers. And I've never done this before, so we're gonna see what happens. Man, easier said than done. I have a driver through the center to hold it, maybe? Oh, there we go. Popped right out. Cool. And we need to do that to 4 of these. This is how I just did it. It seemed to work pretty well. There we go. All right. No, we need some bearings. I didn't get bearings out. Did I? No. I need to root around in this kit for some bearings. I believe they are, yep, in the same tray as the frame rails were. So I got some 625s and some F623s. 625s are going to be what I need. We'll set those other ones aside. Going to need 4 of these because we're building 4 Z drives. I don't think I have. All right, I'm confused now. Oh, okay. We are not using the printed pulley, we're using this pulley. Trying to figure this out here. So we're going to need these D shafts. These are in the section with the power cord. It's going to be what we're building our stack on. It looks like the first thing we're going to have is a bearing. And then a spacer. So these are, you'll have one of these in your kit too, Drew. These are spacers that I printed. This is what I had forgotten. Delayed my shipping a little bit. It looks like we're going to use the fattest one. No, not the... Alright, hang on. I'm going to take a second and do a little bit of research because I am thoroughly confused here. Bear with me. There was another resource I found. Anything about the Z drives? Oh, here we go. Z drive spacers. Oh, we didn't have to deflange those pulleys because we're not using them. Alright, well, hopefully we didn't need them flanged for something else. So here's a different picture that I found. Looks like there is a 2.6 mil spacer, 1.9, $6 mil. Not gonna need that. 5 mil, we're not going to need that. $2.1. $2.54, that's probably a 2.6. $2.6. And I believe those are all the same size. So we're going to use those. So we have shaft, bearing, .6. Pulley. And a 2.0. If 2.1 is 2.0. These big fat ones I don't think we're gonna need. I don't have a whole lot of room to arrange here, sorry. Big fat ones I don't think we're gonna use. And we have 199. 199. 198. I think that's supposed to be 199. 1. 1, 2. 1, 2. 6, 2, 4, 7. I think those are all supposed to be the same. 2, 1, 1, 2, 0. 2, 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 1, 9, 2, 6, 2, 6, 2, 1, 2, 6, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. All right. Now that I think I have these organized, you need 2, 0, 2, 0. 1, 9 and change should be 2, 0. And I'm not deflanged. And then a 1.2, it's going to be one of these little guys. We're going to lock all the important bits down with grub screws, so it's okay to be just a smidge undersized here. And then another bearing. And what I'm going to do is make sure that before I set this aside for final assembly, I'm just going to make sure that one of my grub screws is lined up with the D in the shaft. Yeah, there's a cut on, there's a flat side. I just want to make sure one of my grub screws is lined up with it. I'm not tightening it down, like I said, just making sure it's lined up. And then I should be able to rotate this big guy around, do the same thing. Make sure one of my grub screws is lined up with that D. There we go. Now I'm going to do that 3 more times. So I got D shaft, bearing, .6. Pulley. And just like before, I want to make sure that the flat here is lined up with one of these grub screws. And we need a 2.0. Or I'm sorry, a pulley. What do I got going on here? It doesn't want to go on. Helps if I put it on the correct orientation, but I don't think that's a problem here. I'm just going to take one of these little files, little nail file, and just kind of kiss the edge. Just to make sure there's no burr there that's I'm catching on. Go. And then we're gonna start a grub screw just to make sure it's lined up with the D on the shaft. Need a 1.2. And another bearing. There we go. Does that look the same? Bearing, spacer, pulley, spacer, pulley, bearing. Need the rest of these bearings. I'm going to set these guys aside. Probably should have read ahead before I deflanged those. Alright, so we got bearing on the rod. 2.6 mil spacer. I think that's one of these guys. Line a grub screw up with the D. I think we're going to dress this guy as well. Again, just making sure that it's lined up. And 2.0. 2.1. 2.0. Yep. 2.0. More different pulley with a grub screw. Lined up with the D on the shaft. Kind of a hard thing to get a picture of. And a 1.2, one of the tiny little guys, and another bearing. There's 3 down, we got 1 more. Alright, so it looks like one of the edges of these pins is a little bit less refined than the other one. Just check that before you start assembling. Load from the side that's got a bigger chamfer on it. 2.1, I'm sorry, 2.6. Pulley. Make sure your grub screws aligned with the flat on the shaft. .0. More different pulley. Yep, you know what? I assembled this guy wrong. This last one I did. I got this pulley facing the wrong way. Let's fix that real quick. There we go, that's better. Pulley, grub screw, and 1.2. And the last bearing. All right, looks like we got the bearing stacks all done. I'm just gonna stick the balance of these spacers back in here. All right, and then it says, don't forget to Loctite the grub screws. We are going to do this, but I want to make sure one of these will go together correctly first. So now it's time for Z drives. And some heat sets. It looks like begin by installing the heat sets into the Z drive parts. Each pair of Z drives has a total of 8 required heat set inserts. If you're building a 180, you only need 7. The darker green one isn't needed if building a 180. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7. All right, so this is this one. We need one here. We'll try and zoom you in. Here. There. One there. All right, let's get these guys in place. most of these printed parts that I'm using are done on the Trooper. The Z offset was a little off, so I tried to send my brother the better ones, but that's why the bottom layer looks a little weird on some of them. And just make sure they are ever so slightly below the surface. I believe it's not going to matter because these are going to get pulled from the other side, but one, two. This guy, we get one right here. And then I believe we just lay one of these guys in there. Something like that. Yep. All right. Everything appears to be lined up correctly. Let me just make sure before we Yep. Alright, so before we tighten everything down, I'm going to go through and Loctite and grub screw me back out. Tiniest little bit of Loctite. There will be 4 grub screws, 2 for the big giant metal pulley and 2 for the smaller pulley. And then we need a belt. Belts go. We got the Z-drive belts. So belt goes around the big pulley. And through the hole on the side with the arrows. No, other way. Through the hole in the side without the arrows. All right. And then these get held together with M3 by 35s. 4 of those. 2, 3, 4. These are socket heads, so they're going to be a size that I don't have out yet, I think. Is that right? Nope, I do have it out. Oh. There we go. I guess you can get it all the grub screws through the top there. I didn't realize that. So they are accessible if you need to. Maybe we'll do that on the next one. Do them through there instead of how we did them. No Loctite on these long ones. You don't want it to get on the ABS, ASA in this case. There we go, we have Z-Drive. Ta-da! Now we just gotta do that 3 more times. Cool. I dig it. So I had printed off some of these. This is what you're supposed to use, but there was metal ones in the kit. So we are not going to use them. I'll throw them in my extra Voron parts pile. Let's go, let's see. Yeah, we're just going to build I'm going to build all of these at once. If you're following along, you don't have to do that, but I'm going to do. 7 heat sets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Got 4 in here. Only the top one gets one. Did I do that right on this other one? I hope so. Gonna use a hex driver to kind of get them near where they're gonna go. There's typically a little counter bore modeled into the parts, and there's if you look at the heat set insert, there's a flat spot. One of the ends has a texture on it and one does not. You can kind of put the flat end into that little recess in the part to get them started. Now this is the cheapest soldering iron I could find on Amazon that had an adjustable temperature on it. So I do not trust it very much. Actually, I had it turned down for some reason. But you don't want these things smoking hot. You don't want to burn the plastic. You don't want to carbonize it. So you just want to set your soldering iron at about what you would print at. Use a temperature close to there for your insert pressing needs. One more that goes here. Pulley or a belt around this guy. And then 3x35s. You're gonna have to bear with me in a moment here. I got some prints going for my wife I'm gonna have to change out. My wife is doing a yoga teacher training class. Get certified to teach yoga. And they made her an Om to sit on her desk. Sanskrit symbol for Om. And she wanted me to make one for her instructor, so I did. And then all of the girls in her class wanted one, so I have orders for 4 additional ones. I'm running them off today. One of them's about done. I'll show you here in a second. There we go. Drive numero dos. Yeah. As soon as this other printer's done, I gotta change filament. Gonna print the rest of them on the Trooper up here. Looks pretty good though. Just clean up these mouse ears. Mouse ears break off a lot easier when you get your Z height adjusted properly. Haven't cut them off before. I love doing little projects like this for people that wouldn't normally have anything to do with 3D printing, because it can be such a nerdy hobby sometimes. Nice to get normal people's input on things that you've made. This one we still have to Loctite. Sorry for shaking the table like that. Then one right here. And the belt. Lost one of my bearings. Back on, there you go. Go. Perfect. Screws. 4 to 5. go. 2 down. 1 more. Let me send one more message to my brother here. Just wanted to make sure he wasn't going to deflange that pulley that I did. 'Twas a mistake. All right. A few more heat sets. We can get some more parts assembled, I think. Go. Top. We're going to lock down some grub screws. I think we can add some parts to the printer here. Stealth press was a really cool project, fun to build, and it's super handy. There we go. Cool. Perfect. All right, let's lock down some grub screws. One of these guys. Loctite. Zoom you in a little bit for this if you want. There we go. So we install one before we loosen the other one. So that's on the knot flat. We'll take the one in the big pulley off. We'll Loctite that one at the same time. Rotate and do the other one. And do the other one on the big pulley. There we go. I dropped my grub screw. And it fell in the hole for the other one. What are the chances of that? Couldn't have done that again if I tried. Brent's still chugging along over there. 2, 3, 4. And the last one. I might have to find a way to put those flanges back on those pulleys, so. There we go. 4 Z drives. I'm gonna leave that Loctite out because we still have to do the pulleys for the steppers. Yeah, I think I gotta put these flanges back on. I gotta come up with a way to do that. Glad I didn't just throw them out. Actually, you know what? Let's see if I got some new ones. Oh, those are not the correct size. All right. We need to reflange these, unfortunately. I'm going to try and make the side with the most gnaw marks from the pliers face the outside of the pulley. Oh yeah, they just pop right on. I'm going to use a little thwacker to try and make sure they're seated though. Little thwacker here. Don't be like me, read the instructions first. Well, to be fair, the instructions said to do this, so. Looks like they're all going back on fine, so no harm, no foul. All right. We need a stepper, and it specifically says to not Loctite the grub screw yet. So we're going to do it the same way as before, where we just kind of get one started on that flat. because these have a flat on them as well. Flat there. And it looks like the side with the flange that we messed up goes towards the stepper motor. I'm gonna do that for all 4 of these, like I said, with no Loctite. Continue with the Z-drive assembly. Attach a GT2 16T pulley as shown to each of the 4 Z motors. Tighten one of the set screws just tight enough to keep the pulleys from falling off. Do not use Loctite. We will determine precise positioning once the motors are mounted to the printer. Now you're just putting the pulleys in place so we don't have to slide them on mounted motors. Cool. There we go. And we did that already. Now we need the Z brackets. Now there was 2 different versions, a bigger and a smaller. I believe we're going to need the bigger. Yes, we are. Let me get all these guys out. There's 2 different size stepper motors that you can use with this. And it says the Z motor is best used with the wires for the Z to be facing down or towards the inside of the printer. Motor is in a slight angle in relation to the motor mount. So I would like these to face inside the printer, I believe. So if these are going to mount like this, I'm gonna want these like that, I think. We need M3x8. 2, 3. No Loctite. believe we want these Z's with the wires facing the opening in the C, is what I think we're doing. I'll verify that in just a minute. Looks like my print finished over there, so let me swap some filament around. Uno momento. Waiting for this to wake back up. Just a moment, please. Moving filaments around. Ooh, let's see here. What's going on? Oh, it froze on me. Orca Slicer froze on me. That's not supposed to happen. Don't need 5 walls. Let's go with 3 walls. 3 top, 3 bottom. 15% infill. How long are you gonna take? 5 hours. Oh, let's go. Alright, sorry about that. Back to building. Hopefully that goes. Alright, now we need... Looks like we're installing the feet, which is exciting. And I think this kit uses special feet. I'm gonna look into that real quick. I believe these are for feet. Maybe these aren't. Nope. I don't know what these are for. Those are not for feet. These are for feet. These may also be for feet. I swear these are for feet. Let's see what these are called in the old instructions. Open project. Let's see here. These are called foot mount. Well, I'm going to use these guys because I think they're cooler. These are what we're going to use. And it looks like they go. This guy is oriented like this. I'm going to assume this is the bottom. Those are going to go something like that. I don't know. It's something we can change later. I'm just going to do what the instructions say to do for now. I would like to use those other feet though, if possible. So these guys get a M5 hex nut. In that hole there. And then they go like this. Like this. So this block is oriented this way. This is going to go on like this. We use M3x8s to hold it in place. I'll give you guys a better shot once I get this held in place here. Once I figure out how it goes, I'm probably going to swap to those other feet mounts, but... Oh, you know what? Those are for the Rev 2. Or Rev 1. There's a revision for this that I did not print. So those are for the other Z drives. That's what those are for. So I will not be using those. I'll show you these in just a moment. face the other direction. Yes. All right, I got this figured out. So the round of the foot is going to face towards the belt. That's how these are going to go. There's two different prints, two of each. They're mirrored because that's how the feet are as well. There we go. Hoping that printer noise doesn't come through on the stream, but I am going to crank the speed a little bit because I'm running out of time to get these done. Alright, now we got to get our feet out. Oh, let's see, where was the feet? Right there and here. Yep. Feet. Big honking feet. We need M5 by 16. Saw those. M5 by 16s. Big old driver. We're just going to bolt here right to that the nut that we inserted earlier. Oh, these are great. I love this. Big chunky feet. I like it. It's the industrialness of the colors that I picked perfectly. And then we need two M3 by 40s. It says Z drive is mounted using two M3 by 40s. If you have installed the printed NDN nut holder, this is where you would use that to secure the drive housing. So these are going to go at each corner. I believe this is the front, so I'll pick my nicest looking two. I believe this is how it goes. this. Right, that's how that goes. I'm going to install the one that's hardest to get to first. Didn't get it. Got it that time. You're just going to capture two of those nuts that are in the frame there. Let's see if there's a picture of what it's supposed to look like when we're done. Yeah, so this cutout is the front. This is on the side. Perfect. I'm just gonna make sure it's good and square. Give them a little bit of beef. I apologize for this music. Let's fix that real quick. Not what I want to be listening to. Let's try this. All right. So we'll leave those 4 for in the center. We're only working with 2 right now. 2 preloaded nuts. I don't really have a way to show you this. Let's see if I can do better for the other side about showing you how this goes. This is gonna go right about here. We need 2 of these and 3x40s. And we need 2 of these nuts. So I'm going to work with the one towards the outside of the frame first. Well, first of all, I'm going to try and get them about the correct distance. But when I install it, I'm going to try and do this one first. Just catch that nut. And I did. Let's see if we got the other one. Ooh, I did. Got lucky and got them both. That's what you're going to do. Pick up 2 of those blind nuts. Or not the blind nuts, but the nuts that are captured in there. There we go. And then same thing with this other one. Don't want those 4. Those 4 are for something else. We just want these 2. Couple of these M3x40s. Down through there. We're going to start with this. Try and make sure these are the correct distance before we start. Something like that. Start with this outermost one. We got it. And this one. Yeah, I think we got that one as well. Yep, perfect. I'm just going to move this out till it's flush on the outside. Crank them up. Crank them down. Starting to look like a printer. Now we got to do the Z motors. We need them 3x8s. Pair of them. These we're going to do the same way. And try and do them the same way. We'll try and get the nuts close and then just set it in place. And we got them. Now this is way not in the right spot, I can tell you that already. I'm sure there's going to be instructions for tightening these, so I'm just getting them close. See that though? I didn't put these motors in the right spot. I wanted these facing into the printer. I'm going to loosen these up, take these off, and then swap them. So when you're building this, you want the plug facing the flat side of the mount, not the C like I said earlier. Whew, this is not turning out well. I'm gonna restart this print. Bear with me for a moment here. Try that again. I'll pay a little bit more attention to that first layer as it's going down this time. I'm going to spin this before I install it this time. No, that's not good. It shot the nut out. I gotta watch this first layer go down for a second here. That looks better. I think that looks better. Sorry, just trying to watch this first layer go down over here. Swapping these mounts around for these Z motors. Alright, I think we're good. I'm gonna keep a little bit closer eye on it, but I think we're good. All right, let's do some more Z drives. we go. There's another one. And I'm pretty sure the next step is going to be to adjust these, so I'm not super worried about getting them in the exact perfect position. I'm worried about this first layer though. I think I'm going to have to do these one at a time. Don't worry about that in a few minutes. I think I'm just about done with what I was going to do today here anyway. We'll get these Z drives adjusted and I think we're going to call it a day. Looks like I only got one of them. There we go. Ooh, I wasn't expecting the idlers. Maybe this will straighten up, I hope so. Watch this go down for a moment. Gonna go down better. Please say yes. Yes, that looks better. All right, I think we're good there. So let's do some idlers. We got, these guys are what mine are gonna look like. It's completely unintentional that the green and gray matches the instructions. We need an M3 by 12. And some M3 nuts. Looks like this goes up through the bottom. Into a hex nut on top. And that's going to be what you use to tighten it, I think. Apply the tensioner and main body, secure everything together with M3 by 12 and a knot. Oh, looks like we just tighten it. Okay. Now you are not going to be able to get to that once it's installed, right? Oh, it's just an idler, it's not a tensioner. And I am not doing the bed today, so it looks like we are about done. I don't know why they would make these pieces able to slide if you were not supposed to use that for tension. I guess we'll find out. Sure seems to me like you'd be using that for tension. I've never built a Micron or a 2.4 before, so who am I to say? I'm not going to crank down on them though, because I'm not 100% sure. Alright, so we got that. And we need an F623 bearing stack. So I'm assuming that is a normal Voron bearing stack, where it is shim, bearing, shim, bearing, shim. Need 8 of these guys. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. And an M3 by 20. Let's just make sure this is a 20. I can find my little tool. It is a 24, not a 20. you? 24. It says 20s. Oh yeah, 20. Okay. Oh, okay, I see. There are, if you look down in there, the shim is built in. So it looks like it's just 2 bearings. And then it says this always goes in from the outside. Oh, from the inside of printer to the outside. And the only force on these is going to be straight down. So you shouldn't need to, like, there's no nut or anything. It's just going into plastic. And it looks like you can, yes, you can get at that to tension it. I'm going to leave these so that they're just flush with the top. Oh, my lovely wife is calling. Give me just a moment, please. Alright, sorry about that. My wife is coming home. It's exciting. All done with her yoga for the day. instructions here don't say anything about a shim in between the two, so I am not putting a shim in between the two. Seem kind of loose though. I'm wondering if there's supposed to be a shim in there. Let's look at the other instructions. This says place the bearing stack. It doesn't say what the bearing stack is supposed to be. Well, tell you what, I'm going to pull up the instructions for a 2.4, see what that bearing stack is supposed to be. See if there's supposed to be a shim in there. Because this should just be a small 2.4. Oh, they use a tooth pulley. Well then. I'm going to see if I can squeeze one in there. I'm not even sure that there's enough room for a shim in there, but... Yes, I do believe there is room for a shim in there. Yep, there totally is, so I am going to put one in there. That tightens it up a lot too. Okay, so that is what we will do. I don't know if it's correct or not, but it's what I am doing. That one is good. Let's take this one back apart and put a shim in here. I don't know if you can see that or not. A little bit of space in between those two bearings now, compared to this one. I think the shim is the way to go. Knock the shim off. There we go. All right, last one. There we go. The bearing stacks are a little finicky. And we need two more for each, two more M3x20s for each of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Six, 7, 8. And these guys are gonna grab. What are they gonna grab? We're gonna go. Right here. Yeah. Let me lay this down so you can see what I'm doing here. This guy needs to go just like. Oh no, did I print all of the same? I did. Well, I can only install 2 of these because I printed them wrong. Well, hopefully, yours are printed correctly. There's how those are going to go. All right, well, with that, I had a little bit of an oopsie and printed those wrong. So I'll have to run some of the mirrored version of that off, and hopefully when Drew gets his parts, he can let me know if he has the correct ones or not, and if not, I'll send some off to him. Thanks for tuning in.